I'll say one thing about tonight's show. It certainly did hype up the upcoming Extreme Rules Premium Live event, which is going down this Saturday, and goodness me, you're thinking that's in just a few days, and you would be correct. You also might be asking, well, what city is it taking place in? Well, a random person that I just made up in my head that doesn't have access to the internet because random, unknown, imaginary people don't actually have access to the internet. That's not how the internet works, at least not until the device is complete. Well, it's taking place in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, you want to talk about a city rich in the history of professional wrestling, where a lot of bloodbaths and a lot of great shit has gone down? Well, you've come to the right place. Or at least you will have if you fly to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania and have a ticket and go sit in the arena to watch WWE Extreme Rules. But Philadelphia and Extreme Wrestling. Philadelphia, Extreme. Philly, ECW, 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 ECW. There it is. Before we talk about Extreme Rules that's in Philadelphia, again, ECW, ECW, we got to talk about this show. Let's get to it. I'm John Renton with my review, WWE Raw from St. Paul, Minnesota. The ghost of Verne Gagne looming over like he was ready to take somebody's merch money while they were on an overseas tour, and then he screwed the Golden Goose, let the Golden Goose get away, and then pissed his company away, and then Verne Gagne pretty much pissed his life away. Because he ended up full of dementia, killed a guy in a retirement home, and now has been dead for, about 7.5 years? Rest in peace, Verne Gagne, one of the best promoters ever, and I just pissed all over his legacy. But also, I wasn't wrong. So yeah, the go-home show, or the go-home Raw, at least, for Extreme Rules, and I will be doing my Extreme Rules 2022 predictions sometime after this. Maybe right after this, maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. No point in waiting until after SmackDown, because one, won't have a whole lot of time before the premium live event occurs. And also, I can't imagine they're going to add much of anything important. Just 24 hours to go until Extreme Rules. The Raw theme is ass. Absolute ass. There is good rap out there. This ain't it, Chief. God, I sound so white saying that. So, Judgment Day shows up with Dominic Watts. Here's why I'm calling him Dominic Watts. Eric Watts never belonged in professional wrestling, even though he's a really good athlete. Dominic is worse. He is somehow worse. See, if Ray had actually, gone anywhere, gone to New Japan, gone to AEW, God forbid if he had gone to New Japan, Dominic would have been run off because he wouldn't have been able to handle the Young Lions system. And AEW, I don't know if he would ever learn anything. So, has he learned anything in WWE? Well, yes, he's learned how to be boring and bland. I don't like Dominic. I don't like Dominic at all. He annoys me on a spiritual level. As a character, I don't even mean as a person. He seems likable in interviews. He just doesn't belong in a wrestling ring. Judgment Day it's like 3 separate parts. Dominic Watts doesn't belong in it. Finn Balor is a really good talent, but just feels out of place. And he can be a good heel. This ain't a way to do it. Rhea looks like a movie star. She'll be in Hollywood, no doubt, very soon. Priest has a commanding, booming voice and a very tall stature. And can do shit. How's the weather up there? There. Rise! So anyway, Judgment Day is there. They say their usual shit. Who's your daddy? Da 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 da. Stop having Dominic talk. Whoever came up with the idea and created for Dominic to talk should be punched repeatedly with a brick. So anyway, Balor, he said last night, then corrected himself saying last week. Okay, these mistakes happen. They happen. Of course, he got a little too flummoxed. And I'm sorry. Look, I'm glad they're trying to do something with this group. They made a mistake having Edge get away from it. Had Edge created this right after he came back, or like sometime like last summer maybe, and then had done, they had done whatever, it probably would have been better. But then again, who knows how much more Vince McMahon would have effed it up before Triple H took over. But they were together for all of 8 to 10 weeks. They kicked Edge out. I don't know. Here's Styles and Ray, and we get a jump start. My God, a jump start. You know what really would have helped this show? What would have spiced it up? If we had a jump starts and post-match brawls and interference and distractions. That's really good for wrestling. I don't care what company you are. If you rely on that too goddamn much, you are just like WCW 2000, or you're like some episodes of AEW, or you're like just throwing everything out on a goddamn plate like ECW. And all those companies had good shit about them. And current WWE has good shit about it. AEW has good shit. ECW has some really good shit. Heyman just was a terrible financial manager. They just the jump starts and the run-ins and whatever, it gets stale. It gets to where you're just expecting it to happen rather than, oh shit, I didn't expect that. So Ray J Styles and Finian Priest with Rhea and Dominic took on, they took on each other. The year is 2040. Ray is feuding with Judgment Day, and Dominic still has the personality of Xerox paper left out in the sun. Look, the action was fine. I just didn't care. Rhea ends up jerking Ray off the apron, and then Styles got pinned after the coup de grace. And then Styles is pissed at Ray, and then we get a 4-on-1 beatdown. Anyway, Daniel Cormier is going to be the ref in the fight pit. I mean, they announced it later, but they already made it official here for whatever reason. Not Steve Patrick interviewing Lashley. Lashley says he is not driven by fear. He is just driven by anger. Oh, no. There's no holding him back. Okay. I'm going to move on and say that he got interrupted by Ali. And remember when Ali came back to WWE TV and everybody thought that he was going to be doing some really, really good shit and he was going to be featured on the main TV? And somebody pointed out, I forgot to write your name down, sorry if you haven't been watching this, thank you, that his last win was like a DQ win over Ciampa, like shortly after he came back. And I guess he wrestled in a tag match on August 15th. It was 15th or 25th. The whole point is a number of weeks ago, over a month ago, he wrestled on Raw. Now, people say he's been wrestling on main event, so all of 5 to 10 fucking people saw it, but Ali wants a shot. Okay, I like Ali. I don't know what he did to his hair, but I like Ali. Like I'm an expert on any hair. So anyway, the Red Cross plug for Hurricane Ian victims. And look, let's just do what we can. Terrible that everybody got affected in the hurricane's path. By the way, fuck Governor DeSantis. Fuck him. Fuck his goddamn family. Fuck his supporters. Fuck anybody that likes him. Guy's a goddamn piece of shit that wants to see people fail because he's a piece of shit. And supports a piece of shit. So there you go. But I want the hurricane victims to be taken care of. Let's hope that donations, celebrities, other people, people can donate this shit and we can get these people back on their goddamn feet. Zayn and Solo, Zayn and one of the Usos are sharing jokes. I think it's Jimmy. Jay's upset and he walks in and you gotta take care of business. Oh, here's the Prophet. Solo says, hey Dawkins, I'll face you because apparently Montez is injured. His foot's injured. I hope Montez recovers. So Lashley comes out to a good reaction. Lashley took on Ali. I don't know why Ali has cornrows, but nevertheless, Lashley beat the shit out of him. Ali came back with some good offense, but hit a 450 to the arm. So the arm seems to be the Achilles heel. Ironic since it's not the heel of Lashley. But then he angers Lashley with a volley of repeated strokes of the head, including one hard stroke. And that upsets him. He just throws it. He picks him up with his spine. But ha, no. That's just what I call it. The no. And we nearly get a count out because Lashley just throws him in the post, throws him over the barricade. And then spear and a hurt lock wins it, but Ali passes out, doesn't tap out. And now they're probably not going to feature him much at all. Watch them suddenly give Ali the win over Seth Pheasant Rollins if he beats Lashley for the championship next week. Assuming there's anything left of Rollins. So, Rollins then comes out, and I don't know what the fuck he was wearing. He attacks Lashley, curb stomps him on the towel, curb stomps Ali. So there you go. And then Rollins cuts a promo, pitches to the Fight Pit package that they do very well. Great packages. It's always great to see a nice big package on my wrestling programming. That's all I'm going to say about that. And a no contact clause. Nobody can touch anybody. Nobody can touch the ground. Woo! Got to pull David Blaine and shit and float here. Anybody remember David Blaine? Riddle comes out to cut a promo. Okay, I'm going to say right now that there were some good lines in both of these promos, but I still can't take Riddle seriously. And Riddle's a hell of an athlete. I will give him that much. But he just sounds like every stoner stereotype rolled into one. Pretty much because he is. He says, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to kill you this Saturday. I'll kill you. You're going to have to. And then he sings Seth's theme, or tries to. And then Seth comes back. Do you sing your kids to sleep at night? All right. You can't see your kids. Ouch. And he says, well, you got to keep working. You got to win. You got to get more money because child support is expensive. Ooh! Riddle did come back with one good line, though. He says, Seth, when was the last time you held a championship? Because you lost to Roman. Becky's main event of Mania, but Rollins hasn't. Technically he has. He was part of the close of the main event of WrestleMania 31. It hasn't been a full main event, but I'm just saying if we want to go with facts. But that was good. Some good stuff here, except Riddle. It's hard to take Riddle seriously. When he gets fired up, it's not that bad, but again, he still just sounds like every stoner stereotype. Daniel Cormier apparently recording in somebody's bathroom or trophy room. It's hard to tell there. He says, hey, I was in the cage. Riddle, you were in the cage. Rollins, I appreciate your accomplishments. I'm going to be the Law and Order there. And he's going to face the Bork Laser in Saudi Arabia. QR codes all over the goddamn place here. Shout out to somebody who told me that it was Samson and Delilah. Look, one of two things. It's going to be Joe Wayne Gacy or it's going to be the Fiend Bray Wyatt teaming up with Joe Wayne Gacy and whatever's left of the grizzled hung veterans, no longer to be rectimized. This QR code came up while Candace was talking to Bianca and Asuka and Alexa. They interrupted Candace talking, so that's not the worst thing in the world. All right. Who the fuck is Bella Porch? Genuine question. Who the fuck is that? Miz's birthday is next week. Maurice is going to host it. That means I have to put up with the Maurice promo. Can we get Maurice's subtitles some subtitles? Look, I understand English is her second language. I can't understand a goddamn thing she says. Loomis tries to get him through the door. Why is Loomis trying to get him? What? Why is Loomis trying to get him? Does he want to have indexed and enter? What does he want? Why does he want to get Miz? It's not even like frustrating, like, oh God, I'm so pissed. Like, why? Just why does he want to get him? All right, Dakota versus Candace. Bold of them to assume that I care about a Candice LeRae match. Look, Candace can work. The way ruined how I see quite a few wrestlers. Because the way on NXT programming was really, really bad. It was fine. There were multiple, distraction type, moments. Action was fine. Roll up 1, 2, 3. Dakota wins. And by the way, Miz still doesn't know where Ciampa is. Apparently Ciampa's either injured or he said, fuck this, I'm tired of wearing these bright green outfits and I'm gone. Gargano wakes Miz up, who's laying somehow. He's laying on a box. Wakes him up, and Loomis somehow knocked him out or put this drawing with him, and he found this drawing of him and Miz and... What? Anyway. Alright. Sarah Schreiber. Fucking goddamn Christ, she looked great. She was doing the interviews backstage. Antonio Inoki graphic. The man was an eccentric individual, but my God, one of the pillars of Japanese wrestling. Without him, wrestling in general changes dramatically. Wrestling in Japan changes dramatically. So, Gable cuts a pre-tape on Braun, how he faced him in his first match in an NXT house show. Otis versus Gargano, theory on commentary. Look, the work was fine. I haven't cared about Gargano for a couple years. Otis will never get the heavy machinery or comedy goofiness off of him, no matter how hard he tries. And he's talented. But Theory got knocked out briefly, but then hit Gargano with the briefcase while the referee was distracted. And then the world's strongest slam, sort of. 1, 2, 3. Here's Braun to stop a beatdown. He attacks Otis, runs over Otis, throws Gable in the ring, and we have the next match. Where, yes, there was an impressive German by Gable to Braun. That's impressive. If only they had presented Gable like this instead of Shorty fucking G. Powerbomb 1, 2, 3. DX reunion next week. Oh boy. Hey, maybe the bloodline can hit Brian Armstrong in the heart. Oh, he doesn't have a heart. Because look at the fucker. I mean, and think about, all the shit that he supports or whatever. They said he had some kind of heart surgery. Well, that's impossible. The man hasn't had a heart since he was born. So anyway, the DX reunion. I wish that China was still there. I wish they could have gotten Billy Gunn there. They won't be able to, though. So, good thing that Waltman's going to get a chance, though. All right. Lashley checked on by a doctor. He challenges Seth Pheasant Rollins, and will put his U.S. title on the line because he's tired of this shit. So Corey was moderating his contract signing. Corey has no business moderating anything. By the way, funny moment a little bit before when Miz was all freaked out and everything, and Corey's trying to tell Maurice in DM or whatever, and of course Corey, being the upstanding individuals in somebody else's wife's DMs, good job, you fucking freak. Bayley and Bianca, look, 2 ladders, because it's a ladder match. Look, this is actually a pretty good promo package, or, promo stuff. They promoted it back and forth, good stuff. Bayley, hell of a promo, talking about how she's had to fight and claw. These used to be her fans, they turned on her, they'll turn on Bianca. And Bianca does her stuff. There's a QR code on the back of the contract. I don't know what the hell it said, because I really don't care. Also couldn't scan it. And then Bayley said, well, my girls aren't out here because they're back there. And then we cut to them attacking Alexa and Asuka. And apparently they had Asuka's knee in a chair. And then Bianca gets pulled over by her braid over the table. And then they have a bit of a brawl. And then Bianca slams Bayley into the ring apron and runs back. And Asuka, the talented one, is selling her knee. But let's have fucking Alexa there. Oh, yeah. Let's have Alexa, somebody that has not been any good in the ring for a number of years. Let's have her stare at the camera for a few seconds and, oh, you're on, Alexa, talk. You fucking idiot. It sounds like I'm angry at this show. I'm only angry at the bad stuff on this show because there actually are some good moments. So, it was what it was. Extreme Rules rundown card. By the way, Alexa challenges Io. And then, let's see. Solo with the Usos and Zayn took on Dawkins. Ford was in the corner with a boot on. Hopefully Ford's going to be all right. It was fine. They did more of this bloodline stuff. Zayn didn't take a bullet for the bloodline. Oh no, they're trying to separate it already. Solo slam 1, 2, 3. Dawkins did dive on everybody beforehand. And then Theory hypes up Otis and Gable. Like, don't worry, we'll get him next time. I'll face Gargano next week. Edge cuts a promo about how he's not sure how much time he has left, that he's worried about how his kids and wife are viewing him, that he wants to make sure that he continues to pursue his dream, but he has a family he didn't have when he had to give this dream up originally. And how Judgment Day is his fault, and that he needs to end Judgment Day, and that I have to be a one-man gang at home. The fuck? Ronnie Garvin at home. However he would say the fuck, because he had that French-Canadian accent. All 4 of you can't hurt me enough to make me say I quit. They're going to bring out Edge's family and threaten them. You heard it here first. Or you'll hear it in the predictions. So anyway, Raw season premiere next week, even though they never take episodes off. Bloodline, the DX reunion, break it down. They're broken down. And Lashley versus Rollins, Gargano versus Theory. Alexa's been in the ring for 5 minutes by this point. Io with Bayley and Dakota versus Alexa and Bianca. Positive, Io's in the main event. Negative, Alexa's in another main event which doesn't belong in it. Twisted Bliss, distractions. Bianca gets sent into the steps. Moonsault 1, 2, 3. I mean, there was more to the match, but it's an Alexa Bliss match. Why would I care? And then we get another beatdown. Here's Bianca back, but then she gets laid out. And Asuka comes down with a kendo stick, gets a shot in, but then gets laid out and beat up because they have to make Asuka look like a piece of shit. Good sell by Alexa. God, jeez, I've seen fucking corpses sell better. And then Bayley climbs the ladder with the championship, which clarifies that maybe she will not walk out as champion. Possibly. We'll see. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.